It's another time for Real Talk with Kike. And on this special Wednesday evening, we have hot and serious topic. The news kept making rounds over the past few weeks that Hushpuppi is within the net of the Interpol, FBI, and Dubai Police Department for crimes of fraud and electronic scams running into billions of dirhams. Recent news reaching us via the same platform says that he and his cohorts have been extradited to the United States to face the trial. And I think before I bring in our first guest on the first segment of the show, I know that there are a lot of news flying in here and there regarding his arrest. And it seems like a divided opinion. And I'm surprised, I'm shocked, because sometimes it seems as if we are making excuses when people do wrong things. And we are quick to point fingers at the government. We are quick to say the system has failed us. But sometimes I think it's high time for us to actually look at ourselves and take ownership of whatever action that you have taken. On the first segment of the show today, we are being joined in the studio via the phone lines by the Deputy Commissioner of Police. He is the DCP Frank Uba. Popularly, people know him more on what's it called as a PRO, but I realize that he has been promoted. He is on the show to discuss the legal and the criminal angle of the Hushpuppi arrest. You're welcome, our vibrant DCP. It is an absolute privilege to share your time on the show today. I must take this time out to emphasize that since you're engaged in the PRO job, it gives Nigeria some degree of confidence and hope in the Nigerian police as you reveal crimes and relentlessly go after criminals in the country. It will be of advantage to have your opinion both from the police angle and that of law aspect of the issue, knowing that you are well read. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing part of your evening with me, sir.
Thank you, Kike, and a very good evening to our teaming listeners in Lagos and across the globe. It's always a pleasure being able to serve my people.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Let's just go straight to the point. I know that the whole world, including the United States, is praising the Dubai police system and their cyber crimes unit for the job well done. That took 4 months to apprehend Hushpuppi. So my question is, do we have such a sophisticated cyber crimes unit in Nigeria?
Well, first of all, let me again thank you for the privilege of being on this program.
Thank you, sir.
Hushpuppi is just one out of the many cyber crooks and cyber rogues out there, not just in Nigeria, but elsewhere in the world. And the feat achieved by the Dubai police was actually not achieved by them alone. It was an international collaboration between that ran across multiple security and policing agencies, with Interpol playing a very big role, FBI playing a very big role, and of course the Dubai police taking the lead because they are the national police policing the country where Hushpuppi is based and where the bulk of his activities are emanating from. As to whether the Nigerian police has got a cybercrime unit that can pull such feats, I will tell you time will tell. But with what I can tell you and what I want Nigerians to know today is the fact that the National Central Bureau of Interpol that is domiciled here at Force Headquarters Abuja has got a very strong cybercrime unit headed by a Deputy Commissioner of Police who incidentally is one of the most rated and most respectable cybercrime experts, even at the Interpol level. And a lot of the investigations that FBI have carried out, where some Nigerians were indicted, a lot of inputs were actually made by the Interpol unit based here in Abuja. And for the purposes of clarity, the Interpol unit here in Abuja, even though it is called the International Police, is people that are managed essentially by police officers from Nigeria. And so we have a strong cybercrime unit. We have men and women that are well trained and have the competency, the right knowledge to do the job. The only thing that sometimes hamper them, of course, is lack of the requisite tools to do the job. But even at that, even with those shortcomings, even with those deficiencies, men and women are doing fantastic job. I will be parading some suspects tomorrow. Some cyber crooks that were arrested by our Interpol unit here in Abuja, and by the time I'll be discussing that matter, you will understand how Interpol works. As a matter of fact, part of the intelligence that led to the arrest of these three cyber crooks were intelligence that were shared between the NCB here in Abuja and their German counterparts in Munich. And these intelligence were shared over time before we eventually moved from here all the way to those states where these three suspects were eventually picked up. And we have had lots of such cases, and we've also had lots of such breakthroughs in the past.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And also revealing a lot of things to me. I can't help but ask this. I know, given the 1.9 million people Hushpuppi has been alleged to defraud, and he being wanted over number of countries to face charges. One of them is United States for the ventilators funds, scam running into $35 million. We have the EFCC of Nigeria also on his trail, according to some reports. Is the Nigerian police on his trail? Because it's important for me to ask. After facing his charges again, sir, in the United States, am I allowed to ask if he's liable to face the Nigerian law as well?
What I will not want to do is to do my discussions on the basis of speculations. I would rather wait until the right time and speak to the issues as they happen. But like I've told you, one of the biggest challenges in investigating cyber crimes, and that's why the monitoring processes take place, can take a very long time, is because of the anonymity associated with cybercrime.
Yes.
Cybercrime is one of those crimes where people can commit these crimes for a very long time and still shield their identity even before law enforcement agents. It might surprise you that although your phones have got what we call IME numbers, your phone, and when you're on internet, you also have IP addresses that can help us trace from where you are actually logged on from and from where you are chatting from or doing your internet and cyber businesses from. The anonymity associated with the use of the internet and the cyberspace also give a lot of these cyber crooks opportunity to actually operate without trace. Incidentally, when the anonymity app was being developed, in fact, one of the most effective one was developed by the U.S. Navy, and it was meant to be deployed legitimately. Some of the other persons who also developed them because they wanted to grant privacy to persons using the internet, so that when you are chatting, you can have some level of privacy. But unfortunately, criminals are animals of opportunity. They watch out for opportunities that are associated with technological inventions, and they latch out to those opportunities to commit crime.
All right.
And today what they do is latch out to the anonymity that is associated. In fact, they can max the IP address, they can max the IME number, thereby creating a very opaque transactions. And sometimes they also operate from what we call the dark net, or the dark web, the dark world web.
So
and when they operate from when they operate from the dark net, dark net, it makes it almost impossible for you to track them. But that doesn't mean that they are untrackable. It only makes our job very difficult. And so, because of this, it takes longer time. You need to be patient. You need to be persistent. You need to be consistent. And you need to follow the suspect for a very long time before you make your breakthrough.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for that submission. Let me use this opportunity to say that perhaps you're just tuning in. You are on to your special talk show, Real Talk with Kike. And we have in the studio with Mr. Frank Mba, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, and we are discussing cybercrime and the angle of the law in Nigeria. So, sir, listening to you, I know I can't help because there's a lot of revelation and submission that you have just given to us. But I understand and I agree that no matter how worse the felony or crime is, every accused deserves, they say, and has the right to a legal attorney. Considering the level of the crime, will Hushpuppi be able to get a competent lawyer without bias to stand in for him in a country that is fighting racism against blacks?
Well, I think Hushpuppi will enjoy the privileges of being tried in a free world and a liberal democracy. And I also have no doubt about his capacity to pay for the best of lawyers because he is a billionaire crook. He should have the capacity to pay for the best services. But the good thing about the law is the fact that when the facts are so clear, they speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
And as long as the prosecution is able to make out their case and establish their case beyond all reasonable doubt, the bench or the judge will certainly give judgment in favor of the prosecution. However, if the prosecution fails or is unable to prove his or her case, then of course the benefit of doubt will be given to the suspect. But I really doubt if that will happen in the case of Hushpuppi, because there is a massive multilateral collaboration among security agencies working on that case and still working on that case and still building up evidence together. I say, part of the things that's very unique about cybercrime is the fact that you can sit in a tiny room in Uromi, or a tiny room in Ajegule, or a tiny room in Oshobo, and commit crimes in Dubai, in Shanghai, in Frankfurt, in London, in Abuja, in New York, in Russia, and across the globe. And so when such a person, such a cyber fugitive is being sought after, there certainly will be collaboration amongst the security agencies in those different countries where you have left some of your criminal trail and imprint, and we'll work together to make sure you are brought before the law, and also make sure that you pay legitimately for the crimes you have committed. I'm not going to weep for Hushpuppi, and I think no one should weep for Hushpuppi. There are still a lot of baby Hushpuppies around.
Absolutely.
There are also a lot of
godfathers.
a lot of bigger Hushpuppies around.
Yes.
We need to work together as a people. I think, Kike, one of the things that is very, very important is when we are talking about Hushpuppi, we should just use Hushpuppi as a metaphor.
As a case study.
Yes, as a metaphor to look at the bigger picture facing us. I tell you something. Why do parents watch their daughters, their sons? You have sent somebody to the university, and you know that you have never given him money to buy a car, and then suddenly your son, who is in Unilag or Lasso or Ibadan or Enugu or Futu, suddenly it's probably somebody in 100 or 200 or 300 level students suddenly begin to come back home with a car. And as a father, you are not asking questions. You have a son begin to use phones that worth probably 400, 500,000 naira, and you are not.
And nobody's questioning that. You're right. So, sir.
So we are failing as parents and as guardians and as brothers and sisters. And it's not just parents. We also have pastors and imams who are also failing. You see these young men coming to give testimonies or coming to pay tithes, and nobody asking them, where are you making the money from?
All right.
And everybody is just looking. That conspiratory silence, we must break them and speak against ill-gotten wealth.
All right. Thank you so much for that submission. There is a message from one of our listeners. His name is Ayobami Okolawon. He said, "Good evening, Real Talk with Kike. Please, I want to get the view of Rogedi Baba and DCP Frank Umba on the call for the arrest of some politicians and celebrities in Nigeria that have allegedly been seen with Hushpuppi for suspected money laundering charges. Is this call right or out of place?" That's a message from Ayobami.
Well, first of all, I must say that we have laws in this country. We have a constitution. We are a country that is governed by law. And remember, even the constitution says grants the presumption of innocence even to the accused person. And the constitution made it clearly that everybody is presumed innocent. Every accused person or every defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The fact that Frank Mba is a crook does not mean that Frank Mba can have friends or brothers who are innocent and decent people. And so I don't think if you say Frank Mba is a bad guy, for example, then simply because you found Frank with Kike having a meal, then Kike should automatically become a suspect. Having said that, but if someone could provide evidence, a whistleblower or any kind of person who can provide evidence that will now that will empirically link Kike with the bad Frank, showing that Kike is an accessory before the fact, or Kike is abating Frank's bad lifestyle, then of course Kike can then be called for questioning. But other than that, we need to give each one of us the benefit of that, the presumption of innocence. And for me, I will not act on the basis of what is on the street. I will act on the basis of evidence that is empirically evidence that a piece of evidence that is empirically verifiable.
All right. Thank you, sir. It has been an authoritative session with you, I must say. And you're a man of the law and a representative of the law as well. We pray that God continues to strengthen the Nigerian police to fulfill their mandate of protection of lives and property. Again, I say thank you so much for taking time to show a lot of light on the issues that we are facing regarding cyber cafe. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. So we would So we would go. All right, we have Rogedi Baba.
Oga Frankie.
You guys, give him the bell. Give him the bell.
Is my Oga Frank I want to greet you.
Oh.
Is my Oga from...
Oh my God.
Is my Oga from before the war. Oga Frankie.
Rogedi Baba.
Oga Munna.
I toilet for you.
Now you know, say me the toilet for you pass.
In fact, the whole of Port Quarters just salute you. I just say make I hear you.
That the last hour I come and miss him. So hopefully if they open airline now and we feel wear helmets inside the airline, I go come Abuja. Come greet him. No problem, Oga Frankie. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for doing this.
Rogedi, please, may you help me to beg our people. May I speak small pidgin? Help me beg our people. Make them do this, celebrate ill-gotten wealth. Not every person where you see we carry money, then they tap blessing from. You understand?
No, I get.
So
I get you. You know me from time now. I always do but it's just so unfortunate. Say a lot of Nigerians just believe say then they let their hunger, then they let the hunger where they worry them cloud their judgment, their moral judgment. Now be the thing. So plenty things they will get to fight.
Even traditional rulers where they give title anyhow for anybody. They
As in
one should show money.
All right, we lost that call.
All right,
thank you so much.
Thanks,
I can
boss.
speak pidgin too. It's not only Rugged Man that can speak pidgin. Oh. Please show me one. Let me answer you.
You now, you both never speak our pidgin. Now we will grow for street.
I feel speak pidgin. I feel speak that time. My mama now Igbo now. Oh my goodness.
You know, Lena.
Oh my goodness, oh gosh, I need to go offline now. Let's quickly go on break before they finish me live on national radio.
Thank you, Oga Frank.
All right. We will go.
Negotiants, God bless you all. Keep safe and stay out of crime.
All right. Thank you so much for that submission. We will go on a quick break and return after headlines. But first, a word from our sponsor. Do not touch that because we have Rogedi Baba in the studio and you do not want to miss that. Stay tuned.